Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul binti ISMAIL. My metric number is 060645. In this video, my friend and I will present to you the summary of our assignment paper titled Sukuk and its issue. I will start with the introduction first. Sukuk, commonly referred to as Islamic bond, are financial products that adhere to Sharia and are used as the alternative to traditional bond. Based on the asset backing premise, they give investor return from the underlying asset rather than interest. Unlike bond, where the holder is the creditor of the issuer and is entitled to a fixed streams of interest payment, the holder of Sukuk is considered as investor and co-owner of the underlying asset.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul SOHADA bin DASRIL. My metric number is 060680. Now I will talk about the objective and the significance of the study. Throughout the last 3 decades, the sukuk industry of Malaysia has expanded in a remarkable way. But despite the expansion, there have been issues with the Malaysian sukuk industry. The aims or objective of our research are to identify the definition of sukuk and their characteristics and to analyze the challenges and issues facing the sukuk market. For the significance of the study will also shed light on the various types of sukuk and their characteristics, which can help investors and financial institutions select the right type of sukuk for their investment needs. The study will also identify and analyze the challenges and issues facing the sukuk market, which can help policymakers and regulators develop policies and regulation to address these issues and promote the development of the sukuk market.
Next, we will discuss our finding, which include several issues related to sukuk. The first issue is the issue of Sharia compliance. Muhammad Taqi Usmani, a well-known Islamic scholar, said that some sukuk may not fully follow the rules of Sharia. In his book, An Introduction to Islamic Finance, he mentioned that some sukuk may not involve actual ownership of the underlying assets. Usmani said that some sukuk structure, especially those based on financial derivative, involves a lot of gharar and are therefore against the rules of Sharia. Usmani also called attention to the problem of risk sharing. He claimed that some sukuk structure rely on financial engineering techniques to create the appearance of risk sharing between the issuer and the investor rather than the actual risk sharing between the issuer and the investor. Some scholars have come up with solutions to this problem with Sharia compliance, such as using real assets instead of financial derivative for sukuk and using profit and loss sharing structure where the returns of sukuk are tied to how well the assets perform. Academic also recommends that when issuing sukuk, there should be full transparency and disclosure. This would help to make sure that sukuk are in line with Sharia principle and protect the interests of the investor.
Next, I will talk about the ownership issue. Sukuk can be divided into two forms depending on their representation of its underlying assets, which are asset-based sukuk and asset-backed sukuk. The first form, the asset-based sukuk, differs from the second because technically speaking, its assets are a protection for the sukuk's valuation. The ownership of the property is not genuinely represented by the sukuk. Additionally, in the event that the issuer declares bankruptcy, the holders of sukuk are not afforded any special rights regarding these assets. Instead, they are considered like other borrowers. In the situation of the latter category, the owners of sukuk have certain ownership such properties and are not given priority over other borrowers in the event that the borrower declares bankruptcy. Instead, beneficiaries are the earliest to get their share from the selling earnings whenever the sukuk properties are sold. The owner of the sukuk, nevertheless, are not regarded as proprietors of the assets in the legal sense. Alternatively, the properties constitute a mortgage upon the cash they invested to purchase the sukuk, and they have precedence privilege over any other customers. However, they do not possess the leftover sale earnings. Additionally, they are not able to use the assets like an owner would.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Doctor. My name is Nurul binti SAIDI and my metric number is 060665. I will continue with my part, which is issues in accounting standards. There are 3 parts under these issues, which are classification of investment, recognition of investment, and measurement of issues in accounting. For classification of investment, the Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institution (AAOIFI) has produced Financial Accounting Standard number 17 on investment in securities, including sukuk and Islamic bonds. They also set one notable contribution investment in Sukuk into three categories, namely Sukuk retained till maturity, Sukuk offered for trading, and Sukuk available for sale. It is to minimize the institutional rigidity and the provision of uniform accounting, auditing, and income and loss recognition systems. Second, the recognition for investment. The organization has recommended that recognition for investment in Sukuk and shares and it shall be recognized on the acquisition date and shall be measured at cost. Investment in Sukuk and shares will be held for trading purposes at the end of the accounting period and applicable for sale. In addition, it must be measured correctly at their fair value cost. The third part in these issues is measurement of issues in accounting. Sukuk that are being held till maturity should be valued according to their historical cost. The measurement for securities held for trading and available for sale based on fair value. For the securities, they won't be traded before they mature, thus there is no apparent need to assess them at fair value at year's end according to their maturities. Lastly, the standard mandates that dividends earned from investments in shares and Sukuk be recorded in the income statement at the declaration dates. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NATASHA MAZUKI and my matrix number 060670. For the issues in different regulatory and Sharia opinion in Sukuk, so Sukuk or Islamic bonds are subject to both regulatory and Sharia compliance. Different countries may have different regulatory bodies and guidelines for the issuance and trading of Sukuk. In some countries, such as Malaysia, Sukuk or Islamic bonds are regulated by both the Securities Commission (SC) and the Central Bank of Malaysia (BNM). The SC is responsible for overseeing the issuance of Sukuk, while BNM regulates the Islamic financial industry as a whole. In terms of Sharia opinions, Sukuk in Malaysia are issued based on the principle of Sharia, as determined by the Sharia Advisory Council (SAC) of the SC and the Islamic Financial Service Board (IFSB). The SAC and IFSB are responsible for providing guidance and issuing opinions on the compliance of Sukuk with Sharia principle. However, different Islamic finance institutions may have their own internal Sharia committees that also provide opinions on Sukuk. Here are some examples of different regulatory frameworks for Sukuk or Islamic bonds in various countries. First one is Malaysia. The Securities Commission Malaysia (SC) regulates the issuance and trading of Sukuk, while the Central Bank of Malaysia (BNM) oversees the overall stability of the financial system. Second, Singapore. The Monetary Authority of Singapore (MAS) and the Singapore Exchange (SGX) jointly regulate the issuance and trading of Sukuk. Third, Indonesia. The Financial Service Authority (OJK) regulates the issuance and trading of Sukuk. Fourth, Saudi Arabia. The Capital Market Authority (CMA) regulates the issuance and trading of Sukuk, while the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority (SAMA) oversees the overall stability of the financial system. And these are some examples of a different scholar opinion on Sukuk. First, some scholars may have different view on whether certain types of asset or activities are permissible to use as collateral or underlying asset for Sukuk. Second, some scholars may have different view on the use of derivative in Sukuk structure, with some scholars allowing the use of derivative in Sukuk structure and others prohibiting their use. Third, some scholars may have different view on the level of risk sharing required in Sukuk structure, with some scholars requiring a high level of risk sharing and others allowing for a lower level of risk sharing. Fourth, some scholars may have different view on the use of profit and loss sharing in Sukuk structure, with some scholars requiring the use of profit and loss sharing and others allowing for fixed returns. In conclusion, the Islamic securities Sukuk industry is a rapidly growing sector that faces various practice-related issues. One of the main challenges is the lack of standardization and uniformity in the Sukuk market. This can lead to variations in the structure and terms of Sukuk as well as in the underlying asset that can be used for sukuk. Additionally, the industry faces challenges related to the lack of liquidity and secondary market development. In order to address these issues, there is a need for standardization, uniformity, transparency and disclosure in the sukuk market, as well as the development of a well-functioning secondary market. The industry also needs to work toward the development of a more harmonized regulatory and Sharia framework.